could you tell me your name and your position?
So my name is Sergeant Dave Moffatt, Moffatt. I am currently right now the Provincial Marine Coordinator for the OPP, but prior to that I was a traffic sergeant for, traffic sergeant for 7 years and traffic officers basically my whole career.
Oh, okay. And out of the 4 driving infractions, which is the most common one that you have seen?
Out of the big 4?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the most common one that I see is the aggressive driving, the speeding.
Okay.
But if you take that mix out of it and we're looking at the impaired driving, the seatbelts, the distracted driving, seatbelts, it's phenomenal how many people don't wear their seatbelts, which is crazy with the amount of media attention that we give them. Mm-hmm. So that's the biggest, and then it will go down. Then it's distracted driving, then it's impaired driving.
Okay. And do you foresee any issues or trends in the future with the legalization of marijuana?
Trends meaning?
Meaning, do you think that impaired driving will go up to number 1?
I don't think so. The distracted driving is a huge issue, but I think we also think distracted driving, as far as collisions go, we mark them down as distracted driving, but it could mean a guy backs into a fire hydrant, right? That's a distracted driving. But if we look at the big picture, I think we've done a great job with the media attention as far as being on your cell phone, and there's still lots of people that do it. But as a collision investigator, I see more head-on collisions than I've ever seen. And that is strictly due to distracted driving. Wow. So the legalization of cannabis, I think it's way too early to tell. Unfortunately, when we arrest people, back in the day, they would have a bag of weed on them. So I don't think this legalization of cannabis is going to make people go crazy. I think now it's more of a control system. We have to get rid of the people that are selling it illegally first, and then I don't think we're going to see a huge surge in impaired driving. As an organization right now, we're doing everything we can to get SFSD officers trained, to get our DRE officers trained. We're doing our best we can, and there's a huge amount of money that's being focused on the legalization of cannabis. So it's our goal with the OPP is to get everyone trained as a SFST officer, everyone. And we're now actually implementing in the recruiting class that they will get that course before they leave, which is great, right? Great. But old dogs like me, I don't have that course yet. Right. So they're going to start from the bottom and work their way up, and then hopefully we'll have it. So okay. I really think the legalization we're a little early to tell, but I personally I don't think it's going to be a massive issue. I think it will be an issue to start, okay. But it has to do with training. Yeah.
Okay. And what is the most impactful situation that you've dealt with, and how did this impact you personally?
So the most impactful thing I did, so I'll give you a little history. I've been, as I said, a traffic sergeant. Mm-hmm. Prior to that, I was a collision investigator at TCI, which is a technical collision investigator. And my job is to respond to fatal collisions and fatal collisions and really serious injury collisions. We come in as a unit, we investigate the scene, so we're kind of in addition to detachments. We investigate a scene, we make a CL diagram using specialized equipment. We're able to download vehicles and get information. Okay, which tell us how fast they're driving, seatbelt status, steering wheel status, how fast they were driving when the vehicle rolled. There's so much information we get for that. Anyway, so I was dispatched August 11th, I'm going to get the year wrong, 2012? I know that it was August 11th. And I investigated a fatal collision on Rama Road involving a girl named Ashley Fogel. And Ashley was heading to Casino Rama for a concert, and anyway, to make a long story short, she never made it. She was basically a kilometer or 2 away from the casino before she got hit head on. And she was hit by this guy that forgot his identification, and he was on his way home to Oshawa at a high rate of speed to get his identification. And why I remember that so vividly was, first of all, beautiful woman, right? I had the unfortunate pleasure to have to remove her from the vehicle with the coroner. And then I got to know more of her story as the court date was coming, and found out she was more than just a physically beautiful woman. She helped out in the community a ton. She had such a great reputation. And then I got to know her aunt very well, because her aunt came up to one of the mock collisions I did in Bracebridge, and she spoke at that mock collision. So I got to know the family quite well. And usually when I go to collisions, I say to the investigators, I don't want to know anything. Let me do my job here. It's the only way I can get through it. I've investigated over probably 220 collisions in my, like, fatal or serious injury collisions. So that stuff gets to you. So you need to kind of push that away, do your job, do it well, but push away the mental side of it. Mm-hmm. But then as the court case was coming, I was getting closer and closer to this family. And I'll always remember it. I drive by Ram Road when I do, and I see her monument. Unfortunately, it was taken down, but I'll always remember the picture of her standing by her blue vehicle with a sold sign in it, and I'll always remember that picture. And that picture has I used to see Ashley on the tarp dead, right? Mm-hmm. But now I see, because I got to know the family, I can see the beautiful part of Ashley Fogel, right? So that was the most impactful one, because I knew that we did such a good thing, and we worked our tail off to make that investigation perfect, right? And we got a conviction in court, and the accused got 4 years, 7 months, I think, which really isn't a lot of time. Wow. Yeah. But with all of the different units coming together and the communication, etc., we made it a soundproof case, which was great. So that's my, Ashley Fogel. Yeah.
Okay. And what is one message you would give to young drivers with regards to the Fatal Four?
Well, it's funny. I'm in a position in my life where yesterday was the first day I taught my daughter how to drive. She just got her G1. So it scares the hell out of me, to be honest, right, with all the stuff I see. But the biggest distraction nowadays are those cell phones. Mm-hmm. And it might not be someone that's on the phone talking, but it's the texting, it's the reaching down to get it. As I said, I've never seen more head-on collisions as I've seen this year and last year in my profession. And they're devastating. When you have two vehicles hitting at 80 kilometers an hour, then you've got a 160 kilometer an hour offset. So that's a lot of speed. That's like hitting a brick wall at 160 kilometers an hour. And that might be, you might be wearing your seatbelt, you might have all the airbags available to you, but being stopped instantly at 160 kilometers an hour, that's a fatal collision, because the body, as I explained, it's a 3-crash scenario where the first crash is the collision, mm-hmm. The second crash is you getting thrown forward into your seatbelt or the dash or the windshield, whichever, if you decide not to wear a seatbelt. And then the third collision is all your internal organs moving forward. And there's space in there that they can move. And someone that gets hit at 160 kilometers an hour, their aorta ruptures instantly. And you can have all the safety equipment in the world, and that will never protect you. So I think we've done a great job in the media for the drinking and driving. There's enough officers out there. We do lots of ride programs. But when I see a young person texting on the phone, it makes me angry, right? To make it blunt. So I think that's the best thing we can say to the young people.
Put the phones down. Okay. Thank you.